Hello and welcome to Library Salad. Today's episode is Deeper Dive into Breakfast Cereals, brought to you by the Monroeville Public Library in Pennsylvania. Hi, I'm Alice, and yes, the topic is cereal, and deeper dive means you can dive into this bowl of cereal. There you go. That should look very interesting later. And you can talk about it a little bit more enhanced. And that's what we're going to do. So there's a story behind how breakfast cereals were invented. It's actually a lengthy story. Believe it or not, I'm going to try to just compact it in. Dr. James Jackson was actually a health advocate. Was the first person to develop ready-to-eat cereal. He called it granula, Granula. Does that sound familiar to you? It should. Anyway, the cereal was tasteless. It had to sit overnight in milk just to be able to be eaten. Then a follower of Dr. Jackson, and Ellen White, this in 1886, decides to take a chance on a young gentleman named John Harvey Kellogg. She wanted him to help her with the marketing for the sanitarium that she worked at. Back in the day, sanitariums were actually for physical health as opposed to mental health. Kellogg goes on to invent a cereal very similar to Jackson. He even gives it the exact same name. Lawsuit, which means that he has to change the name, and he changes it to granola. John and his brother Will then they get together and actually call it, let's say, the first commercial cereal flake is invented. Fast forward again. They have a little bit of rift between them. They separate. So it's Will that goes on to form the company, which then becomes known as the Kellogg Company, and that is in 1925. So as you go through time past 1925, there are so many different cereals that come about. So many that we can't even fit them on a piece of paper. But a place called Click America, on their website, has a listing of the favorite vintage breakfast cereals. I actually took a survey today at the library with some of the staff and said to them, what was your favorite breakfast cereal when you were young? A couple of favorites came up. Rice Krispies was pretty much at the top of the list. Rich is saying no. How about Frosted Flakes? How about Honeycomb?
It's okay.
I like Honeycomb. And Cocoa Puffs.
It's the best.
They were good. Now, here's a picture of some other ones that, we'll do a little walk down memory lane on this one. Okay, so you have your Cheerios, you have your Wheaties. Kix. Kix is something that also people think very fondly of. And the thing about breakfast cereals is when you think of breakfast cereals, you think of cartoons. Tricks, you have the basic cornflakes, Rice Krispies, Frosted Flakes, Special K. There's a lot of in here, some things that may not have lasted as long as others, but are considered classics. Honeycomb. I remember the Honeycomb in the yellow box. Sugar Crisp, that was one of my favorite students. Shredded Wheat Team. I had to see the box to remember, oh yeah, I remember that. You've got Chex, you've got, is that product 19?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
Because these little words are really, I cannot believe how, okay. You've got Jets, you've got Total, Lucky Charms, Cocoa Puffs, and Quisp.
Quest was the best.
Quisp was the best. I think, don't quote me on this one,
Second
people.
best.
Okay. Quake came after Quisp. What do you say on that one, Rich?
Not familiar with the Quake.
Okay, fine. So,
They predated me.
you see what he's saying? Because I'm seeing what he's saying. Okay, so with that, also have a lot of them had slogans and mascots. So I'm going to say the slogan, and you let me know if you know it. Some of these are absolute classics. First would be They're Great. It also had a secondary one. Brings out the tiger in you. When you hear the word tiger, you think of their mascot, Tony the Tiger. That's right, and that's with, of course, Frosted Flakes. Kid tested, mother approved.
Ooh, I know this one.
He knows that one, and it is
Kicks.
Kix, right? It actually, the cereal itself was introduced in 1937. This is so famous that it's almost like amazing when they're calling it, it's arguably the 3 most familiar words in the English language. And it was first heard as a radio jingle in 1932, and it was Snap, Crackle, Pop, which of course is Rice Krispies. Interesting thing is that not only is it still one of the favorites, but this is marketing at its best. It went on to have the Rice Krispie treats, which is a favorite among people. And the fact that in order to make them, you've got to buy more Rice Krispies. Genius. This one I like. This one could be a little tricky, depending upon your age. Follow my nose. It always knows.
It's Toucan Sam.
Yes, it is the mascot Toucan Sam.
Froot Loops?
Yes, it's Froot Loops. That's correct. It is Froot Loops. They've had the mascot since 1963, and
It's before my time.
no, it's not. Spelling Froot Loops. Okay, if you spelled Froot Loops F-R-O-O-T-L-O-O-P-S, you would be correct. It's not fruit F-R-U-I-T. There you go. It's with the double O. All right. Interesting. The
Make
voice
sure
of
you know
Toucan Sam.
there's no fruit in there.
Right. That's probably true. The voice of Toucan Sam,
I have no clue.
Mel Blanc.
Yeah.
Right. He also was the voice for
Bugs Bunny.
Bugs Bunny, Daffy Duck, and Barney Rubble. Oh, okay. Breakfast of Champions. That's right. And we've got the Olympics coming up. So that is Wheaties. And he likes it. Hey, Mikey. That's part of the Life cereal marketing campaign. And now this is a very easy one. Magically delicious. They're magically delicious. And that's Frosted Lucky Charms. I find that you even have the frosted part of it, because in order to sing the jingle, you can come up with Frosted Lucky Charms. Now, let's go. Those are the jingles, but according to Kiplinger's, all right, this is the America's most popular breakfast cereals of all time. We're going to start with number 10, work our way to number 1. Number 10, Fruity Pebbles. You can agree or disagree. I'm just giving you facts here, people. 9 is Life. I used to like Life. Those were good little warm milk. 8, Frosted Mini Wheats. 9, Froot Loops. 6, Lucky Charms. 5, Cinnamon Toast Crunch. 4, Honey Bunches of Oats. 3, Frosted Flakes. 2, Honey Nut Cheerios. And number 1, whoops, on the floor, Cheerios. That is right. And funny story. Not that funny. I was at the library, which is where you'll find me, and we have a section where you can purchase magazines. These are older magazines, and some of them were like that month, but anyway, for like 25 cents, you can buy them with magazines. So I went and I looked, and this was the March of Women's Day, and I'm flipping through. This is like 2 days ago, and I'm still getting the research on this. And what do I find? National Cereal Day was in March. I don't know how I missed it, but apparently I did. And here's a whole article about things different desserts you can make with cereal. And this is actually a Froot Loops cake. And now, if you really want to see this, you can go on to our website with your library card. Just go to the e-resources. We have one called Libby. You can check out, there's thousands of magazines. I checked today. You can get this on your phone or on a laptop, but you get the gist of it. Okay. So, not only do we have a Froot Loops cake, we have, bear with me people, a Captain Crunch candy bar. Get the handy dandy pointer, okay? The Cocoa Puffs and banana pie.
I'm Cocoa for Cocoa Puffs.
Exactly. But you don't have to be cuckoo. You don't have to be, say it for me, cuckoo for, in order to make this. Okay, that didn't go quite as smooth as I had hoped it would. Okay, Honey Nut Cheerios. Let me put on the glasses because this is difficult in the lighting. And upside down, Honey Nut Cheerio turnovers. So check this out. You can even get the ready-made puff pastry, a little bit of frosting, throw on some of the cereal, a little bit sprinkles, and you're good to go. Fruity Pebbles, donuts. Just dip that right in. So you can make these things. You can even go store-bought and just add something. And that's it for that. So I thought that was really interesting that even if when National Donut Day comes up, you can just throw the cereal on that. So we've done the history of cereal. We've done favorites. We've done mascots. We've got recipes going on. Hope you enjoyed it. And so the good thing about this is dinner's ready. Hope to see you next week.